So tell me about yourself. What do you do? This is one of the first and most frequent questions I get asked when I meet new people. First of all, when somebody asks you, what do you do? This question isn't about what you do for your family or what you do to make your skin so clear. This question is about what you do for a living. What you do to make money. So you don't want to talk about your cats or how you take care of your plants. It's not considered rude to ask a stranger this question. In fact, it's considered an extremely safe icebreaker. And I blew it with my answer almost every single time. It's an open-ended question. This means that you can answer it any way you want. It's up to you what you want to say about what you do and what you'd rather leave out. You can get creative with your answer and sort of tailor it to yourself, make it unique. And that's what you want to do because a first impression is very hard to beat. You want people to remember you. You want to stand out among others. Or at least not to come off as uncommunicative, unsociable, or even rude. I've gathered some of the best advice by doing some research, and I also will be talking from my own observations and experience. I want to tell you why I did this research and got curious about it in the first place. Well, it may come as a shocker, but I suck at talking about myself. Since I came to the United States, I've probably needed to talk about myself like 100 times already. And I've been so bad at this due to a couple of reasons. Because, I'm only human with my own flaws. So let's talk about everything. But before we jump into this, I want to talk a little bit about the sponsor of today's video, Elsa Speak. A lot of you guys have heard me talk about this app and you know how much I love it. For the new people here or the ones who haven't heard me talk about this app, it's an app that will help you improve your pronunciation, intonation, and fluency. This is the first of its kind app as it pinpoints your pronunciation mistakes. It actually shows you which sounds you mispronounced by using cutting-edge artificial intelligence technology. How cool is that? It is very much like having a pronunciation coach in your pocket 24/7. And you can download it right now for free and get 7 days of pro membership for free. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. The app has 40 plus real life topics and 1,600 plus lessons that range from business topics like everyday office conversations, job interviews, business travel, sales meetings, to casual, everyday topics like movies, food and drink, education, and entertainment. It also has an amazing dictionary that shows you how to pronounce any words or phrases, and community feature that allows you to add your friends and colleagues and compete with a leaderboard, as well as ask for help by posting a word you're struggling with and having friends help you correct it. Now, let me show you how easy, fun, and effective it is to practice with Elsa. So there's a lot of things you can practice on this app, but right now I want to practice ordering coffee at a drive-thru. So let's choose level medium, asking about the drinks.
What can I get started for you?
What can I get started for you? And now let's try this one again, but this time I'll butcher it a little bit just for the illustration. What can I get started for you? Okay, so if you do mispronounce some words, you can click on the word, you can see which sounds you mispronounced, you can listen to them, you can practice them. You can practice this word only, or you can practice the whole phrase again. What can I get started for you? Okay, so you got the idea. So you see how easy and fun it is? And I also, of course, have an exclusive discount for you guys to get 85% off of Elsa lifetime membership or 40% off of a 1-year membership. All you need to do is just click the link down below in the description or in the pinned comment. And now back to the video. Believe me, it is better and really important to prepare for this inevitable question and even practice your answers so that it doesn't startle you and you don't suddenly go blank, start to mumble, or don't know what to say at all, or on the contrary, so that you don't start blabbing your life story to a stranger. So in my case, I would simply say, oh, I work online, keep busy. And then people would ask, and what do you do? And I'd say, well, I teach English. And then people would say, oh, okay, well, that's nice. And they wouldn't ask me any more questions. Although what I do is unconventional, a lot more complicated than that, and there are multiple layers to it. But do you see how short and sharp and vague my answers were? Almost like uninviting to ask anything else and continue the conversation that otherwise might have gone deeper and in different unexpected directions, and perhaps even lead to something great, like the start of a great friendship. And honestly, when I did start to follow this advice, the conversations turned out to be really fun and interesting. Okay, so why was I so sharp with my answer in the first place? Because by my nature, I'm an introvert and more of a listener than a talker. I love to ask people questions and listen to what they have to say. Plus, I thought that talking about myself would bore people. But man, was I wrong, because as it turns out, people aren't bored when I talk about myself or about what I do. They are curious. Another reason was that I mostly communicated with older people, and for them, doing YouTube is an absolutely foreign and vague concept. They just don't understand this. And for me, I thought that I'd rather avoid this than try to explain what I do. And I really shouldn't have. When I do explain, again, people get curious because this is something new. I can't give you the full script of what you need to say because it is unique to you. But I will give you a framework and some general phrases you can use when you talk about yourself. So experts in communication say that when people say, "So tell me about yourself," you should start with one of these. Let me think. I'll stick to the good parts. Or, wow, there's so many good things. I'll cut to the good parts. Or, okay, how about telling you the best parts? Or, let's see, I'll skip to the good parts. Or, oh, there's a lot. We could spend the whole day here talking about me, but I'll stick to the highlights. These phrases will let people know that you won't start telling them your life story and will tune them into a positive vibe with the words like good, the best, highlights, and whatever you say after that will sound more exciting. Then you'll give yourself a tag, sort of, or the name of your job title. And this could be something professional or personal because we're all unique. This will allow people to put you into a specific category, and you'll also, in a couple of words, describe what you do. So you could say, for example, I'm an entrepreneur, I do XYZ, or I'm an accent coach, I help people work on their pronunciation and gain confidence when they speak English. Or I'm an auto mechanic, I specialize in such and such things and in such and such brands. Or I'm a mom, at this point in my life, I take care of my kids. Or you're an entrepreneur and a mom. And then you want to engage people in a little story. And it'll be a story about how you started what you do now. Or if it's a standard story, nothing special, you got out of college, applied for a job, got one, you can tell a story about your first day at work instead. Or something prominent, something that sticks out. Just think about it. This will set you apart from everyone else and you'll be more memorable. You can start by saying something like, a funny story actually, or I have a great story about, or I have a funny story about, or the way I've gotten into this field or into what I do now was pretty crazy, unexpected, or exciting, or interesting. Or I've always wanted to do this, and continue. Or I've never thought about doing this, but. And you'll finish up by saying one of these. And that's what brings me here today. Or, and that's how I found my true calling or my true vocation. Or, and that's how I landed my job. Or something like, and that resulted in me getting this position. Or, and that's how I wound up where I am today. And that would be your framework. Practice it a couple of times. You don't need to memorize it. You just need to know what to talk about. And that's how you're going to give people a couple of focal points, and it's not going to be overwhelming or too scant. This little introduction will give people an understanding about the kind of person you are, something interesting to remember about you, and will give them the opportunity to ask you follow-up questions. So now I'll give you an example, and that's approximately what I would say. Okay, so skipping to the good parts. I'm a mom of a 5-year-old, and I do YouTube. I create educational content about learning English, and I also share my experience in learning it. A funny story, actually. The way I started doing this was quite spontaneous. One day, I was talking to my husband about my journey in learning English and how I have found a lot of effective ways to learn it, and that I would love to share my experience with people. And we thought of YouTube, but we didn't know anything about how to work or how to create content. And I said that I would at least try. And then one day my husband came home with a tripod, put our old camera on it, and said, well, let's try that. And it turned out that people found our content interesting. And that's what brings me here today. We've grown quite a big following, and now we make a living off of it. Okay guys, I really hope that this video was useful for you. If that was the case, as usual, give this video a like. This really helps our channel. And don't forget to head down to the description box and get your discount on the Elsa Speak app. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!